Oh, hello, my friends, and welcome to Open Studio D. And today we are in Saranac Lake village town. Looks like a town. To me, it's like a village. But it's a beautiful place here. It's Upper New York at Adirondack National Park. Last week we had Adirondack Plein air competition, which you can, watch the video about. Just report for that competition. And then we decided to stay for another week to paint, to scout, and just to relax. So I was chilling for a couple days, and today I just like, you know what, I need to paint. So I found this birch tree on the backyard of my Airbnb place, and I'm gonna do a demo. And if I do a demo, I'll do it with you. And plus, I decided maybe even today afternoon I will do another maybe demo, or maybe tomorrow. So maybe 3 or 4 demos, and I'll probably record it, and I think you will enjoy it, or I hope you will enjoy it. So right now this is the birch tree that we're gonna do, so let's get started. Here we go. Alright, as I mentioned, this is a birch tree that we'll be doing a demo. This is just not a demo, this will be a study work. So I have my toned canvas, not canvas, the board, my gator board, which is 6x8. I did a sketch. So as I mentioned, I already did a sketch for this size for 6x12. This is my sketch right here, and I normally do the sketches before I start painting, just to see the composition will work or will not work. If it's not working, then you do another sketch from another view and just find your composition. So if composition is okay, then you're moving to your canvas. So we got a sketch, we got our toned panel, and we got the birch. So let's start making drawing right here on the canvas, and then doing a study work. So this will be just a study work, so it's not finished product. It's just a taste of, just to try how this composition and colors are working. So I'm not going to be picky with the tiny 0 number brush. I'll probably take whatever biggest brush I can work with this canvas and just see the shapes and see the colors, relationship between the colors and values, and on and on and on. So this is just traditional study work. It's going to be really fast. So let's go on the canvas and start it. So the first thing we'll do is transfer our sketch to the canvas. And I'm looking at the actual birch tree, and I'm looking at my sketch just to make sure I'm going to transfer here what I already work on my sketchbook. I'm gonna put this tree, dark tree, in the back just to balance. So with dark spot, but just to balance this and this. So this is on this side. If you won't put anything on this side, it's gonna be falling into the right. So we have to put something just to balance the painting, and then So this is gonna be right here. Actually, let's put it higher. This will be dark. This side will be darker. And then here's the, even though it's not what I see right there, but I like this composition. So this will be dark part, it's kind of shadow. This will be in highlight, and this will be in shadow. Something like this. And here's some branches here, the trees, something like that. So at this point, our oil pastel will hide. We don't need it. Unfortunately, I have only one. I took only one camera with me. And also today I'm going to use Galkit gel as my medium. Alright, the first big brush, so this is number 6. For this is okay. So the darkest will be probably right here. And this tree will be actually, this tree will be darker, so I'll put maybe some highlights on this side. And then we'll continue it here. We'll define this tree. And put some other colors as well. Again, edges, we have to wash the edges. Actually, let me add a little bit of this color. I know this is, yeah, this will work. This will give us some, especially right here. Now this is our shadow, so shadow will finish right here. We have to put maybe we'll transfer to green, kind of green color. Keep in mind all this is green will be on top of this. Let's grab some darkest. And this color. Right outside. Okay, this is okay. Now this side right here will be more in green, so we have to some good green transition from here. So this is will be here, here, dark part over here. Going a little bit darker. And on top we'll put the highlights so it will work for us. Now here, a little bit darker, but still green. Oops, maybe do darker a little bit. I'll put highlights right here, and again, this is the first, just the first coat. Now this line is too sharp, kind of too tilt, so we have to break it. Move it down a little bit maybe, but basically break it. Okay, so this is good. Let me get this right here, this right here, then the small trees that we can put later on. And yes, I'm using the same brush, still using the same brush. Now this will be our highlights. I'm just looking. Now this is right here. We have to put in a little bit better highlights. Okay. All right. So this is enough for the dark parts. Right now, let's jump on highlights and some high value shapes so we can see what's going on. Now I'm gonna define this, even though this is in the center. Not good, but we'll just keep it. I'm gonna put highlighter here so it's gonna push it down. This will be darker right here. We have some, it'll be later on. Let's see, but let's add a little bit of now. As you can see, we're not using any titanium white yet, so this will be our kind of highlighted. I'm adding gold yellow ochre, just a little bit of yellow, and oops, I had too much. Sorry, you didn't see the canvas, I mean the palette. I just added too much of my highlighted yellow, so I just killed the chroma. See if this will work. So this will be our highlight, because that's will work. But I cannot use it right now. We need to gradually go from one stage to another. So let me cool it down. So this will be our right here. We'll fix that later. Okay, this is darker, so this is darker. And we have some Alright, so this will work. This will work. This will work. We can put this bush right here later on as accent. So what we can do, we can put the shadow here. Just get ready for that bush. Okay, this works. Now let's work on the highlights. So this will be our highlights right here. Really? We can put some keep in mind, everything else needs to be in no harsh. So this will be our tree. No harsh edges. So harsh edges will be only right here and here. Everything else we have to kind of hide it. So this is right here. 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 And what's interesting, this spot is really warm, but also there's some kind of this right here. Oops. I'm not sure if this will work for us. So this maybe. Yeah. Let's cool it down. And some highlights. Okay. Maybe right here as well, right here as well, but darker, just to break this line, just to. And as I said, we can add the trees later on, just to break that. Make sure it's going this way as well. Okay, so this will be done for this. So let's take a little bit smaller brush, and we're probably gonna work with this and this. That's it. These two brushes. So basically, we have the biggest one, 6 inches, number 6, number 4, and number 2. So right now I'm going to number Yeah, let's do number 4. Okay, so now which color is this? I think it's kind of interesting, and now we have to start using titanium white, because actually I'm gonna use not titanium white, I will use different colors. So let's see. Now here it will be maybe, but I need something warmer than this. Something warmer than that. Let's see if this will work. This is too... the value of this is too bright, so let's cool it down. And actually not cool down, but put the value down. How about this? I'm not sure. Let's put let's put the first layer, cool it down. We can always come back and... yeah, I like this better. Okay, we can always put the highlights later on. So this will be our... and this is small. Darker here, so this will be darker. And bluer. Again, some of the we can make it like a really blue, like that curve that goes behind. Nobody's gonna tell us no, because we can cover this later on. Now this is in the center, so this is a little bit in the center. We could move this a little bit to the right, but I think it will be too close to... keep in mind, 1/4 inch will go behind the frame. So you have an idea where to place it. Okay, so let's finish this. Now, as you can see, the first coat of tree, when I paint the tree, I can do this. Like this, just to define. And again, don't do like this, because it will be really hard to fix it. But when you're done, you have to go like this. And then if it's too much, you can always erase. Now this is the first coat, so the next one is... and again, watch for the how wide is a tree, okay? Make sure the proportion is considered. Okay, so this is one, this is another tree. I mean, this is the same birch. We can fix this, and we'll add small portion like this, and there's another one coming this way, which is nice because it's breaking this, and the rest will be darker, which is maybe one over here. And then we have on this, we have a lot. All right, now but let's finish this. Oh, let's finish this, so, and then we'll come back to this. Now we're not gonna leave it as it is. We're gonna break it with, with a lot of stuff like this. Here. So we're going to work on that. And I want this tree to disappear at the top. And also we'll do a lot of this kind of branches. just to break the space. This way, this way. And maybe even something like this, just to break it, but make sure it's not hard. Maybe even, you know what, maybe even a small tree like this, just to break this space. So maybe even something like here and over here, so we can break okay. We're gonna work on this later on. We're gonna put maybe highlighted pieces right here. I just want to define. This is not our main point. This is just to support. This is our main, and we have to work on this. All right. So now let's clean this brush because I want to use it for highlights, and I'm gonna wipe it. So this is what we do, just wiping it really good. All right. Now let's work on highlights. And we want to make sure we're gonna put this highlights like this, so they're falling this way. All this will be right here, 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 so it will be highlighted. We'll have branches. Let me get another brush. Okay, so we have this, so we have to highlight, work with this, bring it warm value right here to this tree. It's actually even pinkish kind of. I see some pinkish color right here, and again, this is just a study work, so we're not going to finish it. Bring some okay, so this I'm gonna put in dark. This is same way, it's going this way. That was a stupid idea. It can be this, I'm here and here. Okay, now we have a real highlight right here And here. Now this is kind of screaming right now, but it's not gonna scream because we're gonna put highlights right here. You will see it later. I just want to start with this, just to remind me that this is the highlighted. The highlights that the tree is catching. And the same right here. We have a small highlights here, highlight over here, and we have highlights on this tree. Oops. We have highlights on this tree. The whole tree is actually getting lead. Alright, so we'll come back to this later on, so let's work on, let's go back to this brush and work on highlights right there. So we're getting, oops. So this will be our highlight right here. Screaming, screaming. Here. Again, we want to make sure this tree is not taking too much. Now we have highlight over here. Like a beam of light and some. Let's put a highlight and make sure we're not really getting. Now this tree is getting on my nerves. Okay, so all this, it cannot be lump of paint right here and here, so we have to kind of soften it. Because it's further, you won't see those, details. And here we can put a bump like this, because it's close to us. And again, watch the edges. Now this is working fine. Now we have highlights right here, so let's work on these highlights. But they need to be a little bit darker and warmer, and actually even here. Now we have this. Oops. We have this tree and bush that we can kind of define. And it doesn't look like a bush, it looks like more like a highlights, but we will work on this definitely. We'll work on this part as well. Now this we need to hide. Okay, let's take this brush and work on we have some spots of and you can see I'm trying to break the edges right here as well. Make sure this tree is not pulling too much, so we can put some highlights right here, like light is catching. Some over here as well. And some dark. And I can go straight Viridian, because we can put some I'm gonna break this tree. Put highlights. Put some trees right here. I mean some leaves, not trees. Some leaves right here. Some here. Some over here. Just to break this tree, make sure this tree is not pulling too much. And breaking that. And also right here I have even though Okay, so this is small details that we're gonna work later on. Right now we want to make sure even right here the whole mass is working fine. So that's what we're looking for, the masses. Break this a little bit. So we can break this. Okay, I don't like this. We're gonna have to work, maybe put a darker spot over here and here. Also, okay, so let's mix highlight because it's right now it's very, this will be our highlight, but we need to make sure it's working with us. And again, we have to wash the edges. And it's coming over here as well. A bit darker, but it's still here. Now this is not much, just a little bit. Just a little bit to define the highlights coming. Also, maybe even break this with this, like really highlights. That's details that we can work on right now. Again, do I work on these details? You know, I like this highlight right here. If I can put, yeah, and here. And I like this dark part. And we can put some highlights so it's, and it will be same color as this, so we can bounce back and forth, even like put kind of reddish color right there. Oh, look at that. So it's bouncing and dancing. Now if you put this color right here, we have to put it somewhere else as well. And I decided to put it right here. So it's kind of bouncing between, and maybe even, let's see, we can put it a little bit of this right here. Oops. Right here. Alright, so this is when one thing is not working, this I think we need to remove this, so make sure it's, and maybe put some, this will be later on, maybe put some highlight on this. Alright, so let's, and this is a mess, so let's break this. And sometimes if you have enough oil on your canvas, you can do this. I always do this. Like if it's something I don't like, I need to break it. So something like this. See, this creates this kind of mysterious. Yeah, this needs to be defined better. And then we can do this tree here. Another tree. Okay, so this is later on. We can put highlights and fix some stuff. Let's concentrate on this because this is start bugging me. Because it's a warm, actually, cold and warm environment. Something like, maybe like, this is too oops, too bright. Now when you're working on this, you want to make sure you're following the structure of the tree, meaning not breaking. Yeah, now we need to soften this and make the curve. There's some brownish kind of sienna looking color, and this is the beauty of, yeah, let's yeah, there's some of this, not everywhere, but it is like this. And this how the yeah, this is the right color. And I'm gonna do the same thing right here. And you have to break the hard edge. And again, see this right here, so you have to fix it to make sure it's not heavier here or wider here and, you know, thinner here. So that's what I'm saying by okay, this we will do later on, all the small details. We have to actually add something right here as well. Maybe not that obvious. Small, darker right here. We're gonna do darker right here just to define, so the trees will pop up. Let's do this. Since we're here, we need to define this too. Put it here and there. Again, right now I'm trying to see edges if relationship with colors are actually working. Okay, so let's work on, as I mentioned, we need to make sure we put it darker here. And break this. And let's put highlight actually between the tree. And dark right here, so we can, the tree can be okay. And a small thing that we can do is I'm gonna make sure we're going darker here, a little bit darker here. Now here we want to define this tree smaller because it's curving, right? So we want to make sure it is. Alright, and what we can do is since this tree is a birch, we can do this. Now this is a birch, right? So birch has all those corners like this. Just to define that this is a birch, right? Especially right here, since this is in the corner. And I have to watch edges. Have to watch edges here. 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 No. This is how birches are defined. They have this unique look. So this is they have a lot. I mean, this is Not my style. I normally don't do that. A lot of small thing, but since we're doing this, and then again, I have right here. We can define this turn and smooth it. Also right here. Whatever it is. Use this just to put a highlight on the tree. Some of the even highlight it like this. No, I'm gonna pull some attention to this tree, but I think it's gonna help us. And also let's do highlights for okay, let's do the final touches just to make sure this tree is not going heavier on this side. Also, we need that blue color right here to push it down and just dots. create that atmosphere of and we're gonna use this same. Our galcatas start getting really alright, so let's define some, maybe some trees. Some trees and also some branches. Just to break this. Just to break that. Here. And break here. Break here and break. Again, I'm looking at the shapes. I mean, I'm looking shapes. Maybe this is the kind of shadow from this. No, this is not working. So we have enough oil right here. So let's break it. Even this is not. So I'm gonna use highlights and put the highlights back. So this is this. This is too heavy, so let's pull it down. I mean, remove that. There's some highlights right here that I need to. Oops. You know what? Maybe, yeah, that's actually working fine. All we have to do just make sure we just break the edges, even this edges. I don't like this shape. Now this is my study work that we just finished. As you can see, there is that birch, and here is the study. Again, this is just a study, so we just studying the composition. And to be honest, if I look at my sketchbook, I just found that my sketchbook is a little bit different. So there is no curve on this tree, which was beautiful. Actually, as you can see right there, it's curvy. But in general, as a study, I like the balance between this and this tree. As a study, it's okay. We can come back to here. Actually, I'm just looking at the painting, and right here, this should be a little bit darker. But we can analyze, looking at this image, and analyze everything. So this will conclude this small study work, demo on study work. This is, as I mentioned, 6 by 12, a little bit darker than I normally paint. I normally try to bring the value, of my palette up, but for this, the contrast of dark part right here and that sunbeam catching, the tree catching this sunbeam as well, that's okay as a study work, because I can look at this and the sketch actually looking different. So if I'm looking right now, it's actually a little bit different. This tree is tilting this way. My actual sketch tree is going this way, which is, I think this is much better than this branch kind of trunk is going a little bit to the left and then straight up. This is going this way. So that's why you have to do those study works, this study work, after sketching and compare, and it's like, wow, where did I make a mistake? And then maybe do another sketch, or if this sketch is ideal, like you're looking at the sketch and it's like, wow, this is exactly what I want to paint. Now you can pull maybe bigger or maybe another study work and stick to this, because painting this, I was looking actually at the tree, actually in this scenery, this birch tree and whatever behind, and not at my sketch. And a lot of times when I paint, actually not even looking at the scenery. I'm just looking just for shapes and just for colors references. But majority of the time, I'm looking at here at my sketchbook and analyzing and bringing the colors together in my head. How this will work together, and with some adjustments. But again, this is a good example of, even birdies agree with me. So this is a good example of doing study work, and the importance of study work. So this will be all for this study. We have today is it's a half of day, so we can do probably another 2, maybe 1, maybe 2 study work. So let's move on. If you're new to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe, hit the like, hit the bell. I'm coming with some new videos, new demos, new demonstrations, new reviews of tools that we use as a plein air painters. Also, that bird just left. She said, "I said enough. Let me move on." So if you're new to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe, hit the like, hit the bell, and new stuff is coming. And also a lot of demos, full demos like this. This is just a small preview of full-length demos with all explanation, showing the palette, showing my brushes, showing the canvas, and explaining every step, step by step. All these demos will be available on my Patreon, which I'll probably launch somewhere in October. So I will start talking about this. All supporters who wants to support me and learn, I will have a link to Patreon, and I'm not sure how much I will be charging for full-length demos, but somebody recommended that somebody wants to see full demos and with full explanation how I do it and all the steps. It will be available. It convinced me. It will be available on Patreon site. So saying that, thank you for watching, and let's move on. See ya.
Here we go!